If you have an embroidered shape and you want to fill it in with stitches to give it a bit of color and texture, then straight stitches might be your best choice. And today I'm going to share 5 straight stitches that you can use to fill in shapes. Welcome to Epida Studio. My name is Elizabeth and I help you make beautiful things with quilting, embroidery, and embroidery. So straight stitches can be some of the most difficult stitches in embroidery. For example, satin stitch, it can be really challenging to get all your lines straight and parallel. But straight stitches can also be some of the easiest stitches in embroidery because straight stitches are just straight lines. And so today I'm going to show you 5 really easy straight stitches and how they can be used as filling stitches. So they can be used to fill in shapes. Now these stitches are not used to fully fill in shapes like satin stitch or long and short stitch, but they are stitches that will fill it in a bit, give a bit of color, so it's more like little spots of stitches. So to do this, I have my fabric. I've already stitched this outline with back stitch. This is a little friendship star if you're familiar with quilt blocks, but you could do this with any shape. You can have little circles, you can have a flower, anything that you have an outline and you want to fill it in with a bit of color, then you can do this. So here are my 5 stitches. So the first one I'm going to do in the middle square is just little straight lines. And sometimes this is called seed stitch or seeding stitch. And it just involves randomly little straight lines. So you just bring your needle up and then bring it back down. And it's super easy to do. I guess the most challenging thing would be if these stitches were all in a straight line, then it would be more running stitch, but this is kind of like a wacky running stitch. So here you can see how these stitches just add a bit of color. It fills in the shape, although not with solid color. It just fills it in with some fun little detail. So the next one I'm going to do in this upper triangle is also sometimes called seeding stitch or sometimes double seeding stitch. And it's very similar to the first one, but it involves 2 stitches that go together side by side. So it's kind of like a little number 11. And I'm doing mine shorter this time. And that's just a personal preference. So you can see the difference of what it looks like. So there you can see how different it looks just by having 2 little lines side by side. And these, both of them kind of look like little sprinkles on a cookie or a cake, but they're both fun ways to fill a shape. So next I'm going to do arrowhead. And arrowhead, you can maybe guess, similar to how it sounds, but it's just 2 stitches that are joined together at one end, so it makes a little arrow or little V shape. So that's arrowhead. This also kind of, it could look like a bird or a butterfly. It can be used to represent a lot of different things. So when I'm stitching arrowhead, I like to stitch both my stitches so I'm stitching into the point, because I find it easier to get them to meet up and have a nice point. Whereas like this one, if I'm starting in the point and then stitching out, then coming back up right at the point, you can do that. I just find it trickier to do that, to come up in the point, because it's much easier to find an exact space if you're stitching into it and you can see where the needle's going in. So fern stitch is kind of like arrowhead, but this one has 3 little lines to it. And so the 3 lines all go together in one point. So fern is a fun little stitch. It kind of looks like little bird footprints or bird tracks. So you can imagine tiny little birds walking all over. You can see, even though it's very similar to arrowhead, that 3rd stitch does make a pretty big difference. So the stitch I'm going to do in this section is called eyelet stitch, and it involves a bunch of spokes all going into one center point. So they're all meeting in the center. And this stitch is sometimes used in counted thread embroidery, but in this case, we're not counting the threads. We're just kind of eyeballing the size of it. And you do want to be careful with this stitch, because all these stitches are going into one hole in the middle. It can be easy if you pulled that, and if you pulled it really tight, that would actually make a hole in the middle of your fabric. And if you're doing pulled thread, then you would want to do that, but in this case we don't want to have a hole in the middle of the fabric, so just be careful not to pull it too tight. And you can vary these if you want. I don't think there's a law about how many spokes are on an eyelet in this situation. In counted thread, there are different guidelines, but in this type, you can do it however you want. This one has 6, so it's kind of like a snowflake. So this one has 7, an odd number. If you want everything to be really symmetrical, you can do 8 stitches. So there's some different eyelet stitches. You can see they have different numbers of spokes and they're little different sizes. Normally, if I would do this on a piece, I would want to do mine all the same, no matter which one I picked, but sometimes it's nice to have a bit of variety. So here you can see those easy straight stitches filling in the shapes with color. Now, if you wanted more color, you could either stitch more densely, or you could use thicker threads, or you could use darker threads. There are a lot of other ways you could make the color even more visible. But next time you have a shape and you need to fill it in with a bit of color, then why not try one of these straight stitches? So if you're looking for more detailed tutorials for embroidery stitches, I have a lot of them here on my playlist, or you can check out all the tutorials on my website, epidastudio.com.